day, we finally get to finish our passage into Alaska. Between Mexico and here, we have gotten to drive some amazing and challenging roads, but few compared to this. I have been a little nervous for this mountain pass because much of it is rough dirt road. But far more than nervous, I am excited. How often can you take a motorhome into the alpine, where every direction you look, there is nothing but wilderness, unchanged for centuries? Today, we're embarking on the top of the World Highway. Leaving Dawson City is pretty interesting because you have to get across the Yukon River. They have a ferry that runs back and forth 24/7. I'm just waiting in line right now. It's got a pretty steep ramp, so it'll be interesting to see how difficult it is to get the motorhome on there. Should be all right though.
Left side.
Thank you. Absolute piece of cake. There we go. Next stop, Alaska. Woo!
I walk away from the sun, I take a bath on the moon, I forget that it's summertime. I kneel down on the streets, I feel so out of reach. From afar, echoes of the night.
I'm not sure exactly how much of this trip is on dirt road, but I was kind of guessing this section would take me a couple of days. This is the best conditioned dirt road I've ever driven in the motorhome. If I can keep this pace, it's just gonna be a half day, but this is unbelievably beautiful up here.
I wanna know what you look like in the dark. Turn on your lights. I wanna know what you look like in the dark. Turn on your lights. I wanna know what you look like in the dark. Turn on your lights. I wanna know what you look like in the dark. Steady as you go.
Made it to the tippy top, just coming up to the border crossing. So everything past this point is all brand new for me. Look at how nice it is up here.
We don't mind.
Expecting snow up here? That may have been easier than getting into Mexico. But this is it. We're in Alaska, baby. Woo!
City lights and familiar ghosts, leaning in alcohol, existential despair. Our hearts a reservoir.
Well, the pavement was awesome, but it didn't last long. Right back to dirt.
Turn on the lights. I wanna know what you look like in the dark. Turn on the lights. I wanna know what you look like in the dark. Turn on the lights. I wanna know what you look like in the dark. Turn on the lights.
I just stopped and helped a convoy of motorhomers because the person in the front lost their trailer tire. The person behind them ran it over and punctured their brake line. So I gave them the remainder of my spare brake fluid. Can you believe they freaking left that tire in the road for the next person to hit? And now I have no spare brake fluid. Trying to be really quiet. There's a moose in the pond right beside me here. I'll grab a better camera. Going in for a better shot. She spotted me because I was laying in a red ant's nest. There's a bit of commotion up here. I'm gonna see if I can go around and down. That was totally awesome, but I don't want to bother her anymore. Me rolling around trying to get all the red ants off was a fair bit of commotion. I don't think she liked that. Let's get out of here. Unfortunately, we have run into some mechanical challenges, bringing our breakdown total to 3 so far this northern travel series. So I've flown in my good buddy Mick to help with some of the fixes. Hey, I'm Mick. Mechanic. And ladies, these hands, about to get dirty. It's Mick. What we're dealing with here is just your classic case of exploded brake pad. Typically not a big deal, but since it happened in the middle of nowhere, we had to drive like several hundred miles on it. Totally pooched the rotor. And the only available rotor for this motorhome in all of Alaska was in Anchorage, so we spent the last 3 days pushing here. Now, a good tip from everyone's favorite mechanic is before you start any mechanical job, best to prepare a list of swears ahead of time. Holy smokes, would you take a look at this thing? Look at that brake pad. That's embarrassing. Yikes-a-bee. So I need to get the hub from this rotor onto this rotor, which means pounding out these studs. Save your studs, put a little nut on there, then you get your stud wrench. Just drive it right through. If you're looking into buying your first ever stud removing wrench, make sure you ask about the dual purpose one. This one also puts studs in as well. Out with the old, in with the new. Oh, it's heavy. A lot of very mechanical people watch this show, so I saved you guys the pain of having to watch me torque this incredibly important piece of equipment to spec with a hatchet and a punch. But everything's together, ready for the axle and the brakes. And then she's done. Put the tires back on. Can you believe it's done? I can hardly believe it's done. Well, this side. Let's throw some brakes on the other side, then we're out of here. Hey, Mick. I know it's starting to rain, bud, but would you mind throwing the fronts on while you're at it? Thanks a bunch. I also want to bleed my brakes just to make sure everything's good to go, but it's hard to do by yourself. Look at this setup. My pry bar goes behind the steering column onto the brake lever, and then it's hooked up to this ratchet strap to the seatbelt. Jeez Louise, talk about a nightmare of a parking lot job.
Hey Mick, I don't pay you to complain, bud. The people don't want to hear that.
But you don't pay me anything.
Oh yeah.
Let's whip it.
Miles, look how they go.
Oh man, construction. It feels great to have the motorhome back and running in tip-top shape, but this breakdown has put us drastically further into Alaska than we were supposed to be at this point. We were supposed to be turning around in Whittier. We're gonna be in Whittier tonight in like an hour. But I'm actually stoked about it. I've spent a lot of time in and around Whittier when I worked on cruise ships. So I got lots of cool things to share with you guys. And we have a really neat surprise coming up in like 30 minutes.
It's been quiet for a while. Now there's something making noises.
Woo! We're coastal, baby. Look at those waters. Tons of dungeons just waiting for a crab pot full of chicken legs. And I got one. Can you see it? Iceberg out there. Here we go, coming up on the best part of driving into Whittier. The only way to get there is either by boat or by driving through a tunnel. The only tunnel is actually a train tunnel, and they allow vehicles to go through it. So I'm about to take the motorhome through this train tunnel on the mountain. Here we go. We're doing it. Of all the freight train jokes I've cracked on this channel with this motorhome, I can't believe I have nothing prepared right now.
So much on the line.
I've walked up to the end of this tunnel so many times. I'm finally driving through it. It feels so great.
Running out of time.
We're coming up on the end.
Put out the light, put out the
Woo! How freaking awesome is that? Total train tunnel. Whittier has an amazing campground right on the ocean that I've always wanted to stay in. And it's almost 9 o'clock at night. So we're gonna set up camp for tonight, and then tomorrow, give you the grand tour. Today is day 2 here in Whittier of horrendous wind and rain, which is super unfortunate. I have a lot of things here I want to show you. It's a really neat little town. This is actually an abandoned Cold War military base that's turned into a town of a couple hundred people, and the funny thing is they all live in one building. But with wind and rain like this, we can't really get out and do much, so I'm just gonna kind of hunker down and see how things play out over the next few days. Day 3, little to no improvement. I checked the weather app today, and Whittier seems to be on the receiving end of a pretty terrible weather pattern. Today is day 4. You're not gonna friggin' believe what happened. Finally had a tiny break in the weather, so went into town to get supplies and hopefully do some exploring. And the boat trailer broke in half on the highway. Kind of a disaster, but I was able to get a hold of a mobile welder, came out and fixed the trailer. Lucky for me, also the boat was not damaged, but that was our only chance so far to get out and explore. So hopefully tomorrow will be better. Met some locals today. They gave me this hoodie. Wow, this thing is reflective. Holy smokes. Stands for Prisoner of Whittier. Awfully fitting. Woke up with a bit of a cough today. Worried it might be the cabin fever. Welcome to Destination Stuck Inside. Today's the worst day yet. And the motorhome has developed a tiny bit of a leak. Not really a big deal. I have the wick system going. That'll at least keep everything dry until it stops raining and I can get out and fix it. But I am running out of patience. This might be our chance, you guys. It's still raining, but I think we have this break in the wind that we need. We're gonna take our chance. Get on the water. Just got the boat prepped. Back with some shrimp.
You will.
I'm back with some great shots, man.
I'm going to. I camped beside that young couple there. There are a couple other motorhomers. Really nice folks. I've spied our first black bear. Just walking along the rocks here, see if I can get him with the other camera. I have a huge surprise for you guys. In the old intro of the show, there's a scene where I'm paddling underneath a waterfall. That's this waterfall right here. That was during my last contract here in Alaska. I took a kayak from Whittier over here. Look at all the seagulls. What are they doing? Look at them all. Yeah. I am 100% gonna get pooped on here. I'm at a bit of a crossroads right now. There was 2 ocean adventures that I wanted to do out at Whittier here, one of which quite a bit larger than the other. With today maybe being our only day, I might push it for the big one today. Really been humming and hawing for the last like 10 minutes about it. I think we're going for it. Here we go, I brought gas, so let's do it.
Working on cruise ships honestly changed my life. It allowed me to travel the world, and it changed the way I viewed the world. Most of all, it gave me the opportunity to experience some of the most wild elements around the globe, one of which being tidewater glaciers calving into the ocean. With the introduction of COVID, that life disappeared practically overnight, and starting this YouTube channel was a huge risk. I leveraged my life savings hoping I could somehow turn this into a job, but never did I dream it would take me back to Alaska and back to the glaciers. But because of this channel, my sponsors with Swellfish, my patrons, and all the folks that enjoy the show, I do have that chance. And today, I'm taking it.
The water is absolutely perfect right now. We're just coming up to the point, and this will be the only section I really have any chance of running into big water. I think we're gonna be all right though. Look at the layers there. And this canyon going up. I hate to waste any of this precious short time that we have on the ocean right now. I spied something from across the bay, so I crossed over to show you guys. Look at freaking real deal iceberg. I can't believe it. The swellfish circling a berg. Actually, an iceberg of that size is typically called the bergy bit, which is a hilarious name, but we must be getting close. See how this one still has blue in it like that? That means it's only just broke off recently. And I think I can see a glacier up here. If that is a glacier, it comes right to the water. But there's valleys just full of them. This place is unbelievable. I'm so happy we pushed it out here today. Look at that. Frickin' glacier fish. Fair bit of wind coming off the top of this thing. It's just enough to make my nose hairs start to freeze together. Woo! Refreshing. Just had my first calving. My heart is racing right now. It was so loud. I was looking through the lens and all I heard was the crashing. Looked up, it was actually very small as far as calving goes. I'm really gonna try and catch some on the camera for you guys, but keeping water off the lens is a bit of an impossible task here. Let's do one kind of closer pass. Well, I will not lie to you. This is closer than I would recommend somebody else getting. I cannot help myself. That was freaking amazing. I apologize for the shaky shot. There was a lot of crumbling down at the bottom. I was not expecting the top shelf to come off, so I had to really quickly assess if I was too close. I was in a fine spot, but I couldn't stick around for the wave. But I'm ready to get out of here. Friggin' frozen. Looks like there might be another glacier. Well, that's definitely a glacier, but it looks like it might be tidewater. I'm gonna go around this point and take a look. If it's tidewater, we gotta check it out. Oh, slalom through the berg maze. Woo! It does. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Frick. I am so cold right now, but I gotta check this out. Just a nice big swell. Can't believe I wasn't just rolling on that. A big piece came from the very top, tumbled all the way down and hit there, base of the waterfall, and then into the ocean. That was crazy. What an absolutely unbelievable experience this has been. But we have a long trek back, and I gotta navigate through a bunch of bergs. Let's get into it. Can't dodge them all. You know we'd be checking out that waterfall. Look at that! Oh, it's amazing. pretty special place to replace northern travel in my mind. Where else are you gonna find this? The fog has lifted just long enough right now for us to see all the glaciers. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's the same one, but 2 different spots into the ocean. And then 4. That's what I can see. I'm guessing that's all part of the same ice field, but just wild to see them all. I feel bad. I brought 2 cameras and 3 lenses. All of them are completely soaked right now. It's hard to get nice footage, and I don't want to shoot on the cameras anymore till I dry them out. The GoPro just does not capture how freaking amazing this is.
I'll take my chances. I believe in dancing. When the times get hard, I aim.
I'm sure you guys could tell from the video, but this adventure really meant a lot to me. This one, I think, came with more challenge than any other yet. And getting back here to Alaska and to Whittier, it's a huge accomplishment for me. Getting out and seeing the glaciers as intimately as I did, I don't even have words for that. Doing it in a little boat like I have now, it's so much more personal than what I experienced filming from the ships. So that whole segment, I just left raw. The audio and the video is just straight out of the camera. I feel like that helped portray how vulnerable that experience was and help bring you guys there with me. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I really want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone that has enjoyed and supported this channel. You guys have helped make some serious dreams come true. So from the bottom of my heart, thanks for watching, everyone. As always, take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints. I'll catch you on the next one.
I met a man who was out on his own. He chose to wander this world all alone. He said, heaven can't help me, I'm so far away from where they found me on that day. On and on he goes into the night, singing, waging war with demons in his mind. And he goes on.